and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink.
Good morning once again, and a warm welcome, and thank you for keeping it right here on Sunrise at Sea. Now, on the 20th of March 2022, news befell our ears of the sudden death of the former Speaker of Parliament, that is the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. And the news did receive a lot of both negative, especially negative attention, and of course, it left the world in shock. But as of now, of course, knowing according to the Constitution that no parliamentary meetings or concessions can be had unless a speaker is elected into power. It is on that note that actually today, on Friday, members of parliament will be meeting at the Kololo Independence Grounds to select both a speaker and a deputy speaker of parliament. In that regard, when it comes to the NRM party, they have fronted and approved and endorsed the Right Honorable Anita Amongi together with Honorable Thomas Tayebwa for speakership and deputy speakership respectively. While on the opposition, Honorable Asman Basaliwa, who is also the Bugiri Municipality MP, together with Honorable Okot Bitek, who is the Choga County Member of Parliament, as deputy speakership, while of course Honorable Asman has been fronted as the Speaker of Parliament in that regard. Well, I'm no expert when it comes to these issues, but of course, as we know, all roads will be leading to the Kololo Independence Grounds. And at the end of the day, what we want is for a speaker to be chosen that will serve for the common good. Now, joining me at the center of this discussion is a gentleman that I'm sure you have seen before here on Sunrise at Sea, and his name is Dr. Rogers Barigayomwe. I hope I got that right. And he has a doctorate in management science and in political studies together with law. He also has 2 master's degrees, one in law and the other in the international human rights. Well, he's also a political analyst and the president of the Labour Party. Good morning, Doctor, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Morning, Siobhan. Morning, viewers.
Are you excited about the fact that today we get to choose both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament?
Unfortunately not, Siobhan.
Why?
To me, it's like a comedy, and why I'm not excited, you will notice that people are all excited. It's about opposition and the NRM, but this is a usual comedy we have because, as you see, the people who are going to contest both in the NRM were on the opposition. 7 years ago, what people don't know, Amongi was in opposition and Tayebwa was on opposition.
Yes.
The disappointment is that when even they come to the ruling party, what they used to believe in when they were on the opposition vanishes. It is so sad that the former speaker left us, but remember he was also on the opposition, Oulanyah. But when he came to the NRM, he betrayed the country because, you know, he was one of the people who engineered the removal of the term limits at that time.
Okay. So
for me, I don't get excited because the position also has been compromised. I think we're having a moral issue as a country.
So at this time where we are mourning the fallen speaker, and of course at this time where we're set to elect both the speaker and the deputy speaker, what kind of speaker does Uganda as a country need?
Uganda would need a speaker who is sensitive to the issues of Ugandans. Because recently you noticed that the big debate was about censoring a commissioner, and that is Zake. But yet the prices of soap were hitting 10,000 rate. Fuel is escalating. And we are here talking about commission. Ugandans want a parliament or a speaker who is sensitive to their needs. And because Anita, who I know will pass through, because you know this thing is determined by the SEC. You don't look at the parliament, what they will do. Some of us who are political observers, you look at the SEC. So long as Anita will pass through the SEC, she will definitely sail through. So long as Tayebwa pass through the SEC, That's why I'm saying it is no longer, it's more of a comedy. So basically she will pass through. I wish her the best because she was my student when I was a patron of Kampala International University law student. She was one of the law students. So I wish her the best, but I tell her that the challenge is before her. She's been given all the trust by the nation, but she should not forget the aspiration she had, especially when she was on the opposition, that now it's time to serve Ugandans, not to serve individuals or the ruling party alone.
You do not seem to be amused by the fact that this whole voting for speakership and vying for speakership and deputy speakership is taking place at such a time. So in your opinion, what should have been done?
Of course, a decent thing would be first to mourn the fallen speaker, and then we would these are things which should be amended in the constitution. I don't know why people are amending term limits, age limits. It is very sad when someone has died, and instead of mourning, people are excited with election. The same people. Actually, I was so surprised because Among and also Achen, who were even on the bench, who had been facilitated to go and visit Olanya, were the same people in 2 days vying and very excited about this. Okay, you could say it's not their concern, but there is sort of a laguna which has to be set. I think the law has to be amended, and then we first mourn, then we look for a speaker.
Okay, so in your capacity as a political analyst, do you think that the speaker that is probably going to be elected into power should follow in the footsteps of the fallen speaker, or do you feel that they should have a whole new legacy as to change when it comes to the parliamentary business?
The truth is, I wish they could have a legacy.
Of their own?
Of their own, but it is impossible. They are what we call in political science state capture. They are captured. Everything you see playing is a capture. It has been already played in the background. So you come as a speaker, you cannot bring your own opinion. It will be an opinion of a group, a certain class of politicians who will bring the opinion. Because, like I gave an example, these people, trace just 5 years ago when Tayebwa and Among were in opposition. Their mind, how comes because they've both served for about a year, but nothing of their aspiration when they were in opposition is playing around. So what we mean by state capture, you no longer, even when you're given the power of the speaker, you don't have the powers. You are captured. And even whatever you do, we are told that Olanya, even it wasn't his wish to be taken abroad, but he was captured and taken abroad. So it is a state capture, and I tell Ugandans, every one of us is captured.
Do you have proof in that regard of that statement that you just mentioned?
I said it is alleged, and many Ugandans are giving. But for me, what I know, the proof I have is from a political statement that Ugandans, most of the Ugandans are under capture. And not only the speaker, I will tell you even the president, everyone, because we've gone in a period where independent thoughts are no longer vital. It is about a class and fulfilling some people's dreams.
Okay, so looking at the fact that the NRM has endorsed has endorsed Miss Anita Among for deputy, and together with Thomas Tayebwa for deputy speakership, and in your own words, you're saying most likely, I mean, you even said that she is going to pass through together with Thomas Tayebwa. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that they are the right candidates?
They could be the right candidates in the system. But, like I've said, whoever would be picked, because you are under operating under state capture, you cannot do much. And what we are facing as a country is a moral degradation, whereby when you are given such positions, you're given, the facilitation is so much that you forget about the needs of the Ugandans. These people are going to start driving first class, flying first class, and a lot of money is going to come. And you're going to see them put up strong structures like we are seeing on TV. And they are going to be compromised to change many of the articles in the Constitution just in favor of the ruling class. But later, they will be mourning, like we've seen from Olanya, and that's where even the people, like the Chief Justice, gets it wrong. Who is the custodian of the morals? To say people are crying, they are saying, no Ugandan is saying that Olanya shouldn't have been taken out. But they are saying, why don't we work on the health facilities in our countries? And he is a moral custody. He is the custodian of the morals. And he's not seeing this. Because even, that's why I'm saying, even these ones who are coming in are not going to be different. They are going to be given all the goodies, and they are going to start building multi-billion homes in their villages and forget about a peasant. Many of them lie that we are looking after 100 students paying fees. No, it should be Uganda first. I'm a Rotarian. We say service above self. This thing has gotten out. You're going to see already, you've seen what they have. They are going to build skyscrapers for just a family needs a 2-bedroom house or 3-bedroom house. But they are building hotels for their houses and forgetting that we have a nation, we have poor health facilities, and none of them is going to be taken to those mansions when they are sick. So I'm saying even these ones who are coming are going to do the same. We don't expect anything new.
Okay. Now looking at the side of opposition, collectively selected Jema's Asuman Basalira and Choga's County MP, that is Okot be taken for deputy speakership, while everyone expected Noop to front a candidate. Actually, in the first segment of the Twitter jabs, we did read out a Twitter from Joel Senyonyi, who is a spokesperson for the Noop party, and he came out and said that the two candidates have their best interests at heart and they believe that they will serve justly if put into power. So in your regard, is it safe to say that Noop is now, is it safe to say that opposition, I beg your pardon, is now united? Because back then, when we looked at the elections, where Speaker Uganda also took part in the elections, we saw that opposition did not even vote for him because most of the votes went to the person that was on the NRM party.
You would say in this very time, opposition has been a bit united. But and there I give credit for once to President Museveni, he has disorganized opposition. Because according to me, all the 4 candidates are from opposition. 5 years ago, all the 4 candidates we have were in the opposition. Including even this late Jacob Olanya. 10 years ago, he was on the opposition. So the president, like he said, he came to destroy the opposition, who are the auditors of the government, so we'd have no auditors. Even these other ones, that's why for me I call it a comedy. Even these other ones know that they cannot achieve anything, and they're actually, most of the opposition members, and that goes to us as opposition, they are just here to be bought by the ruling government. And that's why I say the country should be crying. We should be in tears for Uganda, because it is moral decadence which is being surfaced.
Interesting. Now, looking at the aspect that even as we prepare, to bury our fallen speaker and the person who is going to be put into power or elected into power as speakership, what do you think their first assignment should do? Because you highlighted things like moral decadence. You're highlighting things like the fact that people were up in arms to the fact that they flew the late fallen speaker all the way to Seattle to get treatment instead of, revamping the health sector in the country. So as the speaker takes on power, what should be their first assignment in your regard?
The first assignment of the first speaker is to speak to the powers be, that we are 3 arms of government: executive, judiciary, and legislature. And she should come up and say that the legislature will not be manipulated by the executive. That should be her first statement. Short of that, she's going to be compromised, and very soon she will be seeing the same case where she's crying foul play and everything. We are like, hey, Wadanya has been done this, has been done this. If she falls short of that, to show the executive that this is an independent arm of government, of which the independence is supposed to check. These arms of government are supposed to check each other. But instead, they've been all brought against the citizenship.
So looking at the aspect in regard to some of the members of parliament, especially from the West Nile region, from Acholi, Lango, who have come out to say that they shall boycott the speakership elections. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, they are right, because this is the game the ruling party has been playing.
But then would they not bring in the issue of tribalism?
Yes, like people are saying ring faces for this one, this Uganda. That's why I say we are many steps backwards, because we should be above that now. We should be more about principles than ring fencing position for tribal groups. But because it is the politics the ruling class has been playing, now it is their time to demand. In a way, they are justified, but it is a very wrong method to do.
So in your opinion, are you trying to say that tribalism now and again has come in now and again when it comes to electing members of parliament, or when it comes to electing people in higher positions? Is it an issue?
Yeah, it is a big issue, and you saw the Chief Justice talk about it, and that's why we should have a courageous conversation about tribal groups. And that's why for us in Labour Party, we told people we need a rotational government, whereby leaders, a president should rotate within the 4 regions of Uganda. So that is the only solution. They made away with it, one region at the helm for 36 years, and now that's why other people are coming in to demand a share of the national cake. But that thing does not help the peasant back home. It helps these individuals to build their mansions and skyscrapers, but they don't help the individual Ugandan. Because the individual Uganda, whether Munyankole, like me, whether a Mucholi, whether an Easterner, we are all suffering because of incompetence of the leadership.
So in your perspective, what needs to be done so that we can do away with all these sorts of tribalism, so that we can do away with all these things where people come up and feel that the people they have sent into parliament are not representing them? Instead, they are there for their own selfish reasons. We
need a thorough constitutional review.
Okay.
The constitution as it is now cannot heal the problems of Uganda. You remember in its preamble in 1995, it was because of the history of our country, what we've passed through. Incidentally, because of manipulation, the history has been forgotten, and the constitution can no longer serve Ugandan, it is serving an individual.
Okay, so any last remarks as we wind up the conversation?
My last remarks to us as Ugandans is that we should have now our hope in our motto, for God and my country. Don't look at any of these political messiahs, whether from opposition, whether from the ruling government. They've let us down, and we now have to cry to God. Even the people from opposition, the president had given them chance, and they've betrayed the country. So we have to review ourselves as a citizen. But we are saying, as a Labour Party, we are part of the solution. Let us have a conversation as a nation, because Uganda is not for NRM, Uganda is not for NUP, Uganda is for us Ugandans. And the present leadership is no longer serving the purpose for Ugandan, but selfish purposes.
Interesting. Well, that wraps up the conversation that we had for you this morning on the Twitter Jabs. Thank you so much, Dr. Rogers, for coming this morning to Sunrise at Sea and giving us an insight and your thoughts as what you think in regard to both the election of the speakership and deputy speakership.
Thank you, Shivan, and I pray Ugandans watch the comedy which is coming on as the election takes place.
Dr. Rogers insists that it is comedy, but at the end of the day, what we want is for both a speaker and a deputy speaker that will serve for the common good. And again, I said this earlier on the Twitter Jabs, that at the end of the day, things like tribalism, things like parties shouldn't be an issue when it comes to voting for people in power. But also the process of the election that is set to take place today, Friday. The Speaker of Parliament is guided by Rule 5, all the Parliament rules and procedure, which requires that the Speaker shall be elected by MPs with voting rights in a plenary seating that will be presided over by the Chief Justice. Of course, that particular one will be presided over by the Chief Justice of Uganda. That is Alphonse Owini Dolo. And under Rule 5.8, a person presiding shall then invite nominations of the MPs present. Well, we do hope that at the end of the day, the MPs are able to come to a consensus to vote into power someone that will serve the nation. And that winds up the conversation that we had for you this morning on the Twitter Jabs. However, do stay tuned because we do still have an amazing show lined up for you this morning.